Why? Sun Belt East. Yeah, buddy. The Sun Belt East is getting it going. How about the day that the Sun Belt East has? Marshall, App State, and the win in Nebraska. I mean, come on. Let's go. Let's start with Marshall taking down Notre Dame in South Bend.
Columbia to a knee, and here goes the final countdown as Marshall's thundering herd runs to midfield at Notre Dame Stadium. We're down to 3 and 2 and 1. It's a finals. Marshall 26, number 8 Notre Dame 21. Let's repeat that one more time. 26-21, Marshall wins it at Notre Dame.
How about that win? What a huge win for Marshall. What a huge win for the conference. And immediately people are like, what's going on with Marcus Freeman? He's starting 0-3 as the head coach of Notre Dame. After all of those good feelings that he had, Brian Kelly leaves, everyone's mad. Everyone says, you know what? Let's look from within. Let's circle the wagons. Let's hire Marcus Freeman. Even though, let's be honest, from a pedigree standpoint, Marcus Freeman was a defensive coordinator in the group of 5 2 years ago. And then he was the defensive coordinator for 1 year at Notre Dame and gets the head coaching job. That's fine. That's fine. And I do think he's dynamic. I think he's going to help them in recruiting. I think that they are taking steps off the field in terms of NIL to get to a place where they can compete in recruiting at the highest level. And I'm a believer in Marcus Freeman. But the bottom line is there's going to be a steep learning curve because we have to remember he was the defensive coordinator for Luke Fickell 2 years ago. So this is a big jump very quickly, very quickly. And as Steve Sarkisian pointed out to me in our meeting, he's like, listen, my 2 biggest mentors outside of Lavelle Edwards, where I played college football, were Pete Carroll and Nick Saban. And guess what? They didn't really start hitting their stride until they were in their 50s. Coaching can be one of those professions where you've got to take your lumps and grow before you find the right situation and the right place where you can be the authentic person and coach that you are meant to be and then finally take off. So, biggest takeaway for Notre Dame, I think Marcus Freeman is on a very steep learning curve, and that may continue for a little while. It should work. It should work, although, folks, they need to play a lot better, and they need to start playing a lot better really quickly. Really quickly. All right, how about App State? Almost get the win against North Carolina. Then they do get the win against Texas A&M. This is what it sounded like.
48-yard attempt from the left hash. And Davis with a kick. Never got there. Never got there.
It's been that kind of a day for the Aggies.
And Appalachian State with the upset of Texas A&M 17-14. Here at Kyle Field.
Oh, I kind of love that we did the road call there because I was actually on the plane coming back from Austin to LA with an Aggie fan, and they were just devastated. The game had taken place on the flight. They were watching it. I was watching it, and they were just like, the guy was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm no longer rooting for the Aggies. I was like, all right. I'm like, hang on. Like, you should be all right. They've recruited at a high level. But they continue to underachieve. They continue to underachieve based on unrealistic expectations. Aggie fans hate me. You know why? I call them out for having unrealistic expectations. Let's look at what the data actually says about Texas A&M. And then you might look at that game against App State in a little bit of a different view. The data actually says that A&M had a great Johnny Manziel era, a great COVID year, and everything in between has been very average. In the last 10 seasons, they had a Manziel season and a COVID year in which they were 9-1. In the 8 other football seasons, they lost at a minimum 4 games and only finished in the top 25 in 2 of those 8 years. In those 8 seasons, They're 32-32 in the SEC. If you look at the first 50 games for Jimbo Fisher and the first 50 games for Kevin Sumlin at Texas A&M, they're pretty damn close in terms of their record. They've recruited unbelievably well. They've invested in their program and their facilities as well as anybody in the country. And because of that and the conference that they play in, everybody wants to heap expectations onto Texas A&M, and they are what they have been for a long time, which is kind of average. Really talented. But offensively, folks, it wasn't even close. This is the other part about this. It's not like A&M dominated the game and then a couple of bounces went the way for App State. No. The Nears dominated them. A&M didn't even have 200 yards of total offense and only scored one offensive touchdown. This is a week after North Carolina scored 63 on App State. So what is wrong with Texas A&M's offense? I think that we're going to have to do a deep dive at some point. We're going to have to do a film breakdown at some point of Jimbo Fisher's offense because it ain't cutting it, folks. They've got the talent, and something is not there. Maybe we should stop with the unrealistic expectations at Texas A&M. Let them prove it, and then fine. By the way, Texas has been going through this for years. They set their expectations way too high. Why? Because the capture is what they want to talk about and not the chase. And I think that's what's going on with Texas A&M right now as well. You got to focus on the chase in order to get to the capture. The chase has to be more enjoyable, and it's not right now. So those are the games, right? Those are the upsets. And you had Georgia Southern, you had Clay Helton going in and getting in the win against Nebraska. All those teams, by the way, Marshall got paid $1.25 million. App State got paid $1.5 million. Georgia Southern gets paid $1.3 million. To do what? Roll into your building and kick your ass.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.